All right, cricket for Americans. I was afraid he was going to snake me again. Let me. Oh, hello, cricket for American audience. How are you doing? How you doing, C-fam? Nick here.
Gabe, see, fam, I got no countdown, nothing. He's like, all right, let's go. Boom, done. Whoa.
I feel so good when I get to do it, and we usually do 50-50, but still, I'm just so afraid.
I
So,
gotta say, bro, I'm still jealous of that hat. I went on it, right? And I don't want to have the same exact hat you have, even though I might end up getting it. But I like I told you, you can't find a green baggie anywhere online. You know what I mean? I went to Amazon, Googled. Then I went to I said, you know what? Let's represent. America has a team. So let's try to support America. And bro, I think it's non-existing, bro. I don't think forget about us as fans and Americans. I don't think the American cricket team knows that they're the American cricket team, bro. What are you kidding me? There's like no gear, no apparel. Seriously? Seriously?
yeah, I didn't know before we started doing these videos. So, yeah, I mean, it's funny because you would think like getting an India hat. We love India, obviously. We love cricket. You think it would be like just like a great purchase, but you got some people out there like, oh, why didn't you get this one? Why didn't you get USA? Why? Listen, there's not a lot available to us right now. As far as India goes, there was this one, and there was one that had a super long bill, and I'm not really into the long bills, so I mean, I like this hat quite a bit. I love the logo. That's what I was looking for. Obviously, there's other hats, but I wanted the one with the
Right,
logo here.
right.
But yeah. So today for Cricket for Americans, we are so excited to be looking at another Patreon request. This is from one of our newer patrons. This is Deepankar. Sorry again for if I said that wrong. I probably did. He would like us to look at this video that has our man JL, Justin Langer from the test, the head coach of Australia, unless he was fired. I don't think he was. Looking at him as a batsman in his days batting for Australia. So we're super excited to look at this. This is one of those videos. It's just like a fun video to watch. I don't expect it to like blow up on our channel, but we love ourselves some JL and we want to see him in his prime.
Absolutely. Here's the thing. A lot of people said like JL was he was a really really good batter, and you heard about this when on the test. But they're like he played like his hair was on fire, and he played like every game was his last because the teams he was on was so good that it might have been. But obviously that he was a real talent in his day. A lot of people held him in high regards in order for him to become a coach of again the Australian national team. Um, you know, I always believe that the best coaches, bro, are players, hands down. And there's this new generation of coaches that have never played, bro. And I don't know. I have a problem with that. I don't know if that's just myself because I'm doing it from the perspective of my kids and you know what I mean, that they're playing high school ball and my son's in college now, my nephew's in college, but there's this generation of coaches who basically went to school, they loved the games, they got their degrees, and they went to work for these teams. And a lot of people are also like front office people, but I think Moneyball with Billy Bean really started a lot of this, bringing in people from outside the game of baseball, for instance, to really not just manage the team from the front office side, but even coaching. It's like, to me, unless you've played the game, you don't understand it. There's so many nuances you don't understand. You can't relate to players if you've never played the game. You don't know what they're going through, their experiences. And I think that JL shows that in the test, where he understands the pressure because he played himself, and he realized that his approach wasn't working, so he was able to ease off. You know what I mean? But how do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, there's different ways to think about it. A lot of the coaches that I noticed, not all, in different sports, were those players that weren't really able to get too far. They weren't in, if it's baseball, they weren't in the major leagues for too long, or they never got to the major leagues. If it was football, they played for a year or two or whatever, or they were like the third string quarterback, and like John Gruden. But they make really good coaches because of that fire inside. But as far as the relatability, there's really not much there. Because if I'm a star player and my coach is a guy that had a cup of coffee in the league, then how do you really know how a clubhouse works when you didn't spend more than a few months in one? It My teams that I'm a fan of, they traditionally lose. The Chargers and Padres, they lose a whole lot. So when you lose a lot, you have to get really creative. And I will say that the coaches they've had, besides Norv Turner, the coaches they've had in the past have been really decent coaches. But if you're a team that consistently loses, you've got to think outside the box. You can't afford to get some of these big guys like a Joe Torre in his days, or Joe Girardi's our Yankee coach. They did great jobs in his day. You got to be creative. So maybe it's that outside hire. Maybe it's that analytical thinker. The Padres did that with their last coach, Andy Green, and he was like a third base coach. He didn't play much when he was in the major leagues. And I heard him say several times in a humble way, but he was completely bragging that he's a super smart guy and he understands this or that. And all his coaches, they were all, drinking the Kool-Aid, so to speak. He's so smart. He's so smart. It didn't work for 5 or 6 years. Not at all. And they gave him some somewhat decent teams. It didn't work. You've got to get that right mixture. You've got to get someone that understands the culture, but you got to get someone that also is smart enough without thinking too smart, but they've got to be willing to change. Norv Turner was not willing to change when he was a coach. Andy Green was not willing to change. And so if you get a coach that has their approach, if it's not working with this group of guys, we need to change. That's what we got to do. That's what Billy Beane does every single year as a general manager. And that's, in my opinion, why he's successful.
Well, the thing about Billy Beane,
and we saw JL do the same thing. Sorry.
The thing about Billy Beane, and we mentioned him because he's with the A's, what he did so well was recognize that everybody's got talent. And he really understood that, okay, certain players make it for certain reasons. Certain players that are really, really good for whatever reasons haven't got their shot, and he was able to, pull and pull. And even to this day, he is so good at recognizing talent. I mean, the Oakland A's, they're a joke as far as the franchise is concerned. The amount of money that the team actually spends every year should be criminal. Actually, they're the reason that baseball wants to set a minimum, because the owner puts no money into the team. But these guys went all the way to the playoffs 3-4 years. I mean, every year they've got basically a playoff team. They pressed my Yankees to like Game 7, and the team was constructed with like $35 million. The Yankees had a $200 million payroll. That's what the movie Moneyball is about.
Tape and cardboard, man. That's how they put that team together.
But Billy Beane said something really, really cool in there. I don't know if you remember that line. He's talking to David Justice, and David Justice says, "Man, I've never seen a GM who talks like you." And Billy Beane says, "You never seen a GM that was a ball player." You know what I mean? Like, he understands. If you played the game, you understand, and you need to look to those things. Not to take anything away from those guys who I'm sure work hard, pay their dues, come in as interns, get their degrees or whatever. But if you've never played a game, it's hard to go out there and lead somebody. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion.
Totally. So someone comment below. Let us know what the time is of the video before we got to the reaction. But here we go. We're going to get into it. This is incredible, ferocious battle between Express, Shoaib Akhtar, and Justin Langer. Fight fire with fire. And this is from Robelinda 2. This guy's got a very successful YouTube channel with a lot of cricket videos. Some are very short. Some are not so short. This one's about 4 minutes. So let's jump into this in 3, 2, 1. There he is.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Well, good cricket. Shoaib is out there as a substitute fielder. He's made a good stop at extra cover.
That guy's face does not change, does it?
No, not at all.
Langer gave that everything, but
I want to see the replay. I want to see where it hit that guy. He looks okay.
I think it's a bit beefed up, I think.
There you go.
And the thing about JL is that he's a slight dude, you know what I mean? He's a smaller dude. But he's got that piss and vinegar in him, man.
Oh, yeah. He's not someone that you can just push over. Ooh.
Oh.
boys.
Oh. This would be like number 2 on that cricket fights video.
I like it.
You got to have that, man. You can't back down.
Like, you throwing at me, bro?
I mean, this bowler for Pakistan, I mean, he is one of the best, and this guy's just standing right in front of him, looking right down at him. Come on, mate. You can't bring it that way. Come on.
You probably told him you just wasted a ball. That's what I would say, bro.
Oh,
I love it.
Walk back to bowl again.
Oh.
This is quick stuff now. He's up at around 150.
I love it. Oh, man.
What's the bowler angry about?
Well,
I mean, Langer's protecting the stumps.
Never a place for the faint-hearted.
Do you know what Akhtar is all upset about?
Langer's been hit on the arm. He doesn't wear an arm guard on that forearm.
Dude, the only thing I can think of is just that, you know, Justin Langer's kind of like his expressions afterwards, the mannerisms. Is that Brett Lee? Oh, you look at Brett Lee back there.
Administer a bit of help. So this is where it all began. Good stop by Shoaib Afridi. Now a bit of discharge from Shoaib Akhtar. Doesn't impress Justin Langer. What's up, mate? What's your problem?
So he didn't like the fact that he spit.
That was one of the 150 Ks that Langer almost predicts and get out of the way of.
So how many balls does he have left? He's thrown 3, right?
Pitch and they're
Yeah,
at each
he's
other
thrown
again.
3 so far. In this over, he's only got 3 left.
So he's only got 3 left in this over, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's laughing. I like it. Step out. I'm not ready.
What now? No ball called by Rudy Critson.
Another ball.
They're loving it.
No ball. He's loving the view right there.
Now then, Jeremy Lloyd and Rudy Critson are going to have a word together, or it may be a single word from Jeremy Lloyd. Rudy Critson is just out of picture.
He's probably telling him, you got 2 left, bro.
Now he's been down.
Now he's got to do 3 more again because it was no
Just
ball.
to have a little word with Langer, who, in case the scorers hadn't seen the signal from Rudy Critson, Langer was just helping them out.
Great drama here at the MCG and a bit of drizzle now as well. It's 2 for 92.
Oh, man.
So that's interesting. It said no ball, but it stopped there after that one. So maybe it was no ball. They let it count nonetheless. I don't know. It's videos like this that I enjoy watching as well because it's just like a short 4-minute video that Rogue Linda 2 put out for us, not for us, but for the YouTube community. And it's just a little snippet into someone's life, someone's little interaction. It's interesting. Like you said, Justin Langer, he's not going to take any of that stuff. I mean, he's a fiery little guy. He can't be taller than 5'7", 5'8", but he doesn't care because he stands tall in front of those stumps there.
Bro, he might be $150, $160 soaking wet, bro. Okay. I mean, and he's got just that fire, man. I love it. And you saw that come out of him as a coach in the test, but as a player, now you know where it comes from. And this guy, like, you would think he would be intimidated, and he's just like, come on, man, what are you doing? You know what I mean?
Not
just bring it
impressed.
at him. And it was super fun. I mean, again, as a bowler, much like in baseball, as a pitcher, you really can control the pace. You dictate the pace. And for the most part, it's a part of the game. You're going to intimidate guys. If guys are too comfortable, you're going to throw a little inside, make them uncomfortable, make them move their feet. You know what I'm saying? But it was like JL was just there, not intimidated whatsoever. And then as a bowler, they get back in your head like, okay, what do I do? You know what I mean? And I'm sure that the bowler wasn't quote unquote, head hunting, but there was one that he threw that bounce and came mighty close to JL's head. You know what I mean? And I mean, instead of being afraid or intimidated, he was just like laughing it off. You could tell why he has such passion, and you could tell why he was chosen to be Australia's coach for the national team, man, because he is just a gritty player. And true to form, like they mentioned in the test, bro, he played on a team with legends. You know what I mean? Brett Lee was over there coming in to check on him. Hey, Brett, you all right? You know what I mean? He's just laughing like, I'm good. So it was a cool video, cool little 4-minute video.
Yeah, it was awesome. And, you got to remember about Langer management. We see where that comes from a little bit, that fire. But I mean, yeah, like you said, that's a cool video. We appreciate the request. Let us know if you want us to do more of these shorter videos here and these little discussions about it. I know sometimes we get off the rails, but that's just kind of what we do. When we have people on board interviews, when we have people on Cricket for Americans that's articulate like Gabe is, then we've got to make sure that we take advantage of that. But we hope you enjoyed this reaction, and until next time.
That's 6 runs.